Welcome. This isn't just another video you'll watch and quickly forget. This is the one that could fundamentally reshape your future, not by pointing out the obvious pitfalls, but by unveiling the silent destroyers hidden within your daily routine. These are the habits that lull you into a false sense of security, making you believe you're fine, even as you subtly crumble from within. Some are silently eroding your potential, others draining your confidence, and many are stealing years from your life without you ever realizing it. Before we delve deeper, understand this: if you are here now, it signifies a profound inner yearning. It means a part of you is desperate to break free, to grow, to forge a better version of yourself. I deeply respect that desire. This channel isn't about superficial optimism or mimicking trends. It's about unvarnished truth, genuine growth, cultivating a resilient mindset, and becoming the person you were truly meant to be, even when the world attempts to diminish you. If you're tired of feeling trapped, perpetually distracted, invisible, or broken, then join us. Here, we venture beyond the surface, exploring the depths of the mind and heart, daring to voice what others shy away from. And yes, engaging with this content will also sharpen your English as it transforms your life. Let's begin. Habit 1: overthinking. This is the silent assassin of action. Let me be clear, overthinking is not deep contemplation. It is a self-induced paralysis. You endlessly rehash past conversations, conjure vivid scenarios of failure before even attempting anything, and second, guess your instincts to the point where you forget how to move forward. Your mind becomes a cinema, playing endless films where you are judged, you fail spectacularly, or disaster inevitably strikes. Yet, none of this is real. It's pure imagination, but it brutally murders your confidence, your vital energy, and countless opportunities. Consider this: you planned to launch a YouTube channel last year. You were brimming with ideas, excitement, and motivation. But then the questions began. What if I'm not good enough? What if I become a laughingstock? What if I simply fail? So you did nothing. A year has passed. There's no progress, no results, just a graveyard of dreams buried under an avalanche of what-ifs. Overthinking doesn't shield you. It traps you. The remedy? Stop waiting for the perfect answer. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Just do it, even if it's messy. Do it scared. Do it unsure, because one small, imperfect step forward possesses 10 times the power of 100 perfect thoughts trapped in your head. Overthinking masquerades as intelligence, but it is merely fear adorned in a sophisticated suit. Habit 2: procrastination. The insidious "I'll do it tomorrow." This habit is responsible for more unlived lives than actual failure ever could. People don't fail because they lack intelligence. They fail because they perpetually postpone. Not today, they say. I'll do it tomorrow. I need to be in the right mood. Next week, I'll definitely start. And what inevitably follows? A year slips by, then 3, then 10. One day, you gaze into a mirror and confront the stark reality. You built nothing. You became no one. There was a man, Leo, who yearned to write a book. He constantly deferred, always next month. Then, his mother suddenly passed away. The book remained unwritten. Now, he utters the most heartbreaking words imaginable. I thought I had more time. Procrastination is not a time management issue. It is an emotional avoidance problem. We delay tasks that intimidate us because deep down we fear failure or even success or the judgment of others. But with each passing day you delay, you become a little more comfortable with inaction. This is how lives slowly dissolve into a sea of regret. The solution? Treat your future self with the same love and respect you'd offer a cherished loved one. Because every time you say tomorrow, you are actively stealing from the person you are destined to become. Act now, not because it's easy, but because it is your sacred responsibility to your future. You don't need bursts of motivation. You don't need ideal conditions. You simply need to start. Begin today, because if these two habits, overthinking and procrastination, persist in your life for another year, they will dismantle every single dream you hold dear. Habit 3. Mobile addiction. The digital cage you mistakenly believe is freedom. Let me ask you a candid question. What is the very first thing you reach for in the morning? Is it your phone? Not a glass of water, not your journal, not the silent contemplation of your dreams, not even your partner or parents if they share your home, just the phone. You open your eyes, and instead of engaging with your own life, you immerse yourself in a screen filled with the curated lives of others. Here's the truth no one openly discusses. Mobile addiction doesn't feel overtly dangerous. It lacks the immediate, destructive consequences of alcohol or drugs. You don't instantly lose your job, get arrested, or feel physically ill. This very subtlety is what makes it so insidious. It slowly suffocates you minute by minute, scroll by scroll. It replaces your authentic presence with constant distraction, your nascent ideas with overwhelming noise, your tangible reality with shimmering illusion, and you remain utterly oblivious. Consider Emma, a young woman with grand aspirations of becoming a designer. She downloaded tutorials, enrolled in online courses, and even meticulously crafted a 30-day plan. But each time she sat down to begin, she'd quickly check Instagram, then a reel, then another, then YouTube, then WhatsApp, and suddenly 3 hours had vanished. This pattern repeated daily for 6 months. Now, when asked about her design dream, she simply says, "I don't know. I just didn't have time." But she did have time. She merely surrendered it to a screen that had no vested interest in her future. What's truly happening? Your brain receives dopamine surges with every scroll, the chemical associated with pleasure and excitement. Your brain learns scroll equals feel good, so it demands more and more. But here's the cruel twist. After all that fleeting pleasure, you're left feeling exhausted, guilty, and empty. It's as if your very soul is shrinking. You lose your attention span, your motivation, even your capacity to find joy in simple, real-world experiences. This isn't just a minor bad habit. It's a form of brain damage. The remedy: you don't need to discard your phone entirely, but you must reclaim control of your attention. Implement strict screen time limits, not just for individual apps. Utilize app blockers during your designated focus hours. Keep your phone in a separate room while you work. Replace your morning scroll with a deliberate morning plan. Substitute your night scroll with reading or quiet reflection. Initially, you'll feel a strange void, as if something crucial is missing, but gradually your brain will recalibrate. Your focus, creativity, and inner peace will return. Your phone is a tool, but right now it is wielding you. Take your life back. Habit 4, watching porn. The deceptive pleasure that is slowly dismantling you. This is an uncomfortable topic, and precisely for that reason, it demands our attention. This habit is silently devastating millions of minds, and few are courageous enough to issue a warning. The stark truth, you might perceive it as a harmless release, a minor diversion. But the reality is, regular porn consumption is one of the most potent forces for obliterating your confidence, discipline, energy, and capacity for genuine emotional connection. What it does to your brain is profound. Porn unleashes massive surges of dopamine, far exceeding anything real life can naturally provide. It deceives your brain into believing you've just secured the ultimate reward. But you haven't. You've merely sat alone staring at a screen. Over time, your brain develops a tolerance. Consequently, normal life experiences cease to excite you. Authentic relationships begin to feel bland. You lose your innate drive. You lose your essential masculinity or femininity. You lose interest in the rich tapestry of real life. Your brain begins to rationalize why pursue challenging goals or cultivate real love when instant, cheap pleasure is so readily available? This is dopamine slavery, and it is actively rewiring the very fabric of your future. The psychological destruction is immense. It annihilates discipline, leaving you feeling weak, sluggish, and mentally foggy after each session. It eradicates real intimacy, causing you to expect unattainable perfection and performance rather than genuine connection. It breeds profound shame. You inherently know it's wrong, yet you feel powerless to stop. It fosters anxiety and a crippling low self-worth. And perhaps most damagingly, it morphs into an omnipresent escape from every discomfort, pain, failure, boredom. You flee to it whenever life presents a challenge, but slowly, it constructs your personal prison. Consider Aiden, a bright, creative young man with aspirations of building a business. Yet, whenever he felt lonely or anxious, he retreated to porn. This became a daily ritual, then multiple times a day. His confidence plummeted. He stopped socializing. He ceased creating. One day, he confided in a friend, "I feel like I'm dying inside, but I don't know how to stop." Because porn is not merely a bad habit. It is a spiritual poison. How to break free? Willpower alone is insufficient. You must proactively replace it with genuine, life-affirming habits and a deeper sense of purpose. Engage in strenuous exercise, sweat, activate your body. Meditate, allow your mind to confront silence. Spend quality time with real people, not digital pixels. Journal, be brutally honest about your emotions. Cultivate a dream so vast and compelling that you refuse to squander another moment. And forgive yourself. You are not inherently evil. You are human. But you must make a conscious choice to transcend this. Otherwise, you will forfeit years of your life to shame, silence, and profound regret. Habit 5. Negative self-talk. The insidious process of becoming your own enemy without even realizing it. Have you ever truly observed the way you speak to yourself. Not externally, but within the quiet chambers of your mind. That hushed voice when you stumble, the subtle whisper when you make a mistake. What does it utter? You're so stupid. Why do you always ruin everything? Look at you, you're utterly inadequate. No one could ever truly love someone like you. I'm such a complete loser. Does that resonate? Now imagine if another person, a friend, a family member, or even a stranger spoke to you that way every single day. Imagine they shadowed your every move 24/7, whispering those exact words into your ear. How long would it take before you broke? Before you lost all semblance of confidence, joy, and self-belief? That is precisely what negative self-talk accomplishes, only it's far more devastating because it originates from within you. The hidden damage is profound. Negative self-talk doesn't merely sour your mood. It fundamentally sculpts your entire identity. Every instance you label yourself lazy, every time you declare, "I'm not smart enough," every casual joke you make about being a failure, your brain is listening, and it begins to internalize these statements as truth. You unconsciously start to act smaller, to dream smaller, to expect less from life. You settle for mediocrity, for toxic relationships, for outcomes that feel like failure. Not because you are inherently incapable, but because your mind has been meticulously programmed to believe you don't deserve anything more. Consider Jason. In school, he once failed a math test. His teacher remarked, "You're not really a numbers guy." Jason laughed it off. But that single sentence burrowed deep into his subconscious. Years later, whenever he encountered anything resembling numbers or data, he would automatically tell himself, "Oh, I'm terrible at this stuff. I'm just not that smart." He consciously avoided jobs he could have excelled in. He sidestepped numerous opportunities. He even declined a promotion at work, fearing they'll eventually discover I'm not as smart as I appear. But the truth was, he wasn't unintelligent. He was simply conditioned to believe he was. That solitary moment, that single sentence, became his dominant inner voice, and it dictated the course of his life. What you repeatedly affirm, you ultimately become. If you persistently call yourself a failure, your actions will inevitably align with that belief. If you constantly tell yourself you're unattractive, you will recoil from social interaction. If you believe you are unworthy of love, you will accept anyone who treats you poorly simply to feel acknowledged. This transcends mere mindset. It is identity programming. The words you choose to describe yourself become the very blueprint of your future. The solution: begin to actively listen to your inner dialogue. Catch those negative phrases. Write them down. Then honestly ask yourself, would I ever utter these words to someone I deeply love? If the answer is no, then why are you inflicting them upon yourself? Subsequently, reprogram your thoughts, not with superficial affirmations, but with potent, undeniable truths. Get, "I am not yet where I aspire to be, but I am actively growing. I have experienced setbacks, but I possess the strength to rise again. I am deserving of love, peace, and a future that fills me with pride." This isn't toxic positivity. This is essential mental survival. Because if you fail to transform your inner voice, it will exert complete control over your entire life. And the most terrifying aspect, you won't even realize it's happening. Habit 6, comparison. The insidious thief that pilfers your joy, peace, and fundamental purpose. Let's be brutally honest. You awaken, instinctively reach for your phone, and open Instagram. Someone just announced their engagement. Someone else acquired a brand new luxury car. Another is lounging in Bali, sipping an exotic green drink on a flawless beach. Someone younger than you has already built a thriving business. You haven't even brushed your teeth, and already you feel an overwhelming sense of falling behind in life. This is the pervasive curse of comparison, the silent internal war you are perpetually fighting. You don't harbor ill will towards these individuals. Your feelings aren't born of malicious jealousy. But a whisper inside you insists, why am I not there yet? Why does their life seem so perfect and mine so convoluted? What am I doing wrong? And slowly, imperceptibly, you feel smaller, less enthusiastic, less worthy, less alive. You begin to question your aspirations, your appearance, your relationships, your life's timing. You cease to appreciate the unique beauty of your own existence. You feel like a failure, not because you are genuinely failing, but because you are fixated on someone else's meticulously curated highlight reel. Imagine a magnificent sunflower standing proudly in a vast, open field. Every day, it turned towards the sun, absorbing its warmth, growing taller, brighter, more golden with each passing hour. Bees frequented its petals. Children smiled at its vibrant presence. It was undeniably thriving. But one day, the sunflower noticed a colossal oak tree at the field's periphery. The tree was immense, its branches sprawling wide, its roots plunging deep, birds nesting securely within its embrace. The sunflower, by comparison, felt diminutive, fragile, insignificant. It began to envy the tree. It stopped its natural upward stretch towards the sun, its vibrant head droop. It started to doubt its very purpose in the field. But here lies the profound truth. The sunflower was never destined to be an oak tree. Its inherent beauty stemmed from its unique identity, its vibrant color, its innate inclination towards the sun, not the sky. It wasn't failing. It was simply looking in the wrong direction. What comparison truly accomplishes is this: it steals your gratitude. It renders your personal journey utterly meaningless. It forces you to fixate on every perceived lack, compelling you to forget the abundant blessings you already possess. It doesn't motivate you, it paralyzes you. You cease to actively construct your own life because you are too preoccupied observing someone else's. The truth is, you don't know their complete narrative. You don't witness the hidden struggles behind their smiles. You don't see the years of therapy behind their outward confidence. You don't perceive the emptiness that might lurk beneath their apparent success. You are comparing your raw, unaided reality to their meticulously filtered version, and you are losing a game that was never intended for you to play. How to liberate yourself? Drastically limit your exposure to social media. If it consistently makes you feel smaller, it is not serving your well-being. Celebrate your own progress, no matter how minor. Even small victories are precious. Engage in genuine conversations with real people Authentic interactions reveal that no one's life is as flawless as it appears online. Establish your own timeline for success. You are not late. You are simply navigating your unique path. Cultivate a daily practice of gratitude. Write down 3 things you are genuinely proud of each day. And always remember this: you can admire another person's achievements without diminishing your own worth. You can genuinely celebrate their success without casting doubt upon your own future. But you absolutely must stop merely observing and start truly living. Because your life isn't behind schedule. It's patiently waiting for you to cease looking outward and finally begin to look inward. Habit 7, waiting for motivation. The destructive myth that silently eradicates dreams. Let's be honest, how many profound dreams have perished in the waiting room of, "I'll do it when I feel ready"? How many potential lives were never fully realized because individuals remained inert, perpetually awaiting the right feeling, the perfect moment, the spark of inspiration? This habit doesn't announce itself with a shout. It doesn't trigger alarms. It doesn't appear overtly dangerous. But it is, precisely because the most lethal habits are the quiet ones, the ones you mistakenly believe are harmless. And this is undoubtedly one of them. The common misconception is that motivation is akin to a lightning bolt. It will strike one day, and everything will magically align. People believe that successful individuals are ceaselessly inspired, perpetually driven, always in the optimal mood to hustle. But that is a profound falsehood. Motivation does not precede action. Action precedes motivation. Successful people do not wait to feel like it. They act regardless. They meticulously build habits that propel them forward even on days when they feel lazy, terrified, utterly unmotivated, and riddled with doubt. That is the truth rarely spoken. Consider 2 students, both harboring the dream of launching a podcast. One declared, "I desperately want to do it, but I'm waiting for the perfect time. I need to feel completely ready. I need to be supremely confident. I require better equipment. I must refine my accent. I need a surge of inspiration." He waited. A week bled into a month, then a year. He observed others flourishing. He continued scrolling, continued watching tutorials, perpetually reassuring himself, "Not now. Soon, maybe next month." But he never began, convinced that motivation was a prerequisite, a magical arrival. The second student was equally fearful. He possessed no expensive microphone. His voice quivered. He wasn't even entirely certain what to discuss. Yet he pressed record anyway. He uploaded his inaugural episode, then his second, then his third. Initially, he was terrible. No one listened. He yearned to quit, but he persisted. 6 months later, people began to take notice. A year later, he was being invited as a guest on other popular shows. 2 years later, he had transformed his podcast into a full-time income, helping thousands of listeners. Not because he possessed greater talent, not because he had an abundance of free time, but because he refused to wait until he felt ready. Why is this habit so deadly? Because it employs deception. It tricks you into believing that waiting is a sign of wisdom, that you are merely exercising patience, that you are diligently preparing, but in reality, you are simply evading discomfort. You are cowering behind fear, and you are erroneously labeling it as logic. Waiting for motivation is akin to standing before a locked door, passively hoping it will magically swing open. But the door only yields when you exert the effort to push it. The truth is, you will not feel like it every single day. You will not feel inherently confident at the outset. You will not feel entirely ready. And that is precisely why you must move forward regardless. Because momentum is the progenitor of motivation, not the other way around. The most successful individuals on earth were not more inspired than you. They were simply more consistent. How to shatter this habit? Begin before you are ready, especially when fear grips you. Commit to action, not to ephemeral feelings. You do not need to feel excellent to produce excellent work. Lower the bar significantly. Aim for just 5 minutes. Just begin. The act of beginning is paramount. Cultivate rituals. Dedicate the same time each day to your work, even when it feels utterly pointless. Cease over preparing. Action is a far more effective teacher than endless planning. If you perpetually await the perfect feeling, you will spend your entire life watching others live their dreams, while yours silently accumulate dust within the confines of your mind. Do not wait for motivation. Create it. Habitate, not finishing what you start. The silent destroyer of self-respect. This habit doesn't merely squander your precious time. It fundamentally shatters your identity. It whispers a perilous lie to your brain. I cannot trust myself. You enthusiastically embark on reading a book. You feel a surge of excitement, diligently taking notes, highlighting profound passages, feeling intellectually stimulated. Then, one day, you simply forget to read. This stretches to 2 days, then a week. You solemnly promise yourself you'll return to it, but you never do. Now, the book sits on your shelf, a poignant symbol of the person you aspired to be, but never became. The hidden danger is profound. When you consistently fail to finish what you start, the impact extends far beyond the abandoned project. It profoundly affects you. It alters the very way you perceive yourself. Every time you abandon something halfway, you transmit a clear message to your own brain. I don't follow through. I am the kind of person who gives up. I lack consistency. I am all talk, no action. This process systematically builds shame. And shame is a potent killer of momentum. Soon, you become apprehensive about initiating anything new because, deep down, you've internalized the belief. What's the point? I'll probably quit anyway. Imagine an alarm clock designed to ring precisely at 500 a.m. each morning. Its purpose was clear: to rouse someone, to kickstart their day, to propel them towards something meaningful. But the individual hitting the snooze button established a different pattern. They ignored it once, then twice, then every single day. Soon, the alarm clock felt utterly useless. It still possessed the same power. It still functioned flawlessly. But its call was no longer heard. Eventually, it ceased ringing altogether. Not because it was broken, but because it had come to believe it no longer mattered. This is how neglect morphs into identity. This is how being ignored devolves into silence. The stark reality: starting is easy. Finishing is what genuinely transforms your life. Anyone can embark on a new diet, launch a YouTube channel, conceive a business idea, or begin a novel. But the world truly belongs to those who persevere through boredom, who push past setbacks, and who ultimately cross the finish line, even when there's no applause. That is the fundamental distinction between fleeting dreams and tangible results. Why do most people quit? They mistakenly conflate initial excitement with unwavering commitment. Excitement is fleeting. True commitment endures. They anticipate instantaneous results. When immediate outcomes fail to materialize, they prematurely assume they are failing. They harbor a deep fear of imperfection. Instead of completing something imperfectly, they abandon it in pursuit of the next captivating, shiny idea. They often lack a clearly defined finish line. If you don't explicitly define what done means, your brain will never know when to conclude. How to reconstruct your identity. Finish something small, completely and thoroughly, even a seemingly simple task. Prove to your brain, I can close the loop. Establish clear finish lines. Be meticulously specific. Don't merely say, write a book. Instead, declare, finish chapter 1 by Friday. Consistently track your progress. Show yourself the tangible advancement, no matter how gradual. Embrace imperfection. Done is profoundly superior to perfect. Imperfect success holds far more power than perfect, unrealized potential. Reconnect with your fundamental why. Why did you embark on this journey? Who are you doing this for? Finishing what you start isn't solely about achieving results. It is about meticulously rebuilding trust with yourself. Every time you complete something, no matter its size, you send a powerful message to your brain. I keep my promises. I follow through. I finish what I begin. And that profound level of self-respect. It is the bedrock upon which everything else is built. Habit 9, the comfort zone. The most exquisitely beautiful prison you will ever inhabit. The comfort zone is not a physical location, it is a profound feeling, a quiet, warm, and intimately familiar sensation that whispers, stay here. You are safe. You are fine. Why risk anything? It feels like profound peace. It feels like impenetrable protection. But it is not. It is a cunning trap, a silent, golden cage. It is the underlying reason people endure 10 years in a job they despise. It is why someone remains trapped in a toxic relationship. It is why a brilliant, gifted artist never dares to exhibit her breathtaking work. Because remaining comfortable feels infinitely easier than confronting the daunting unknown. The most perilous aspect of the comfort zone is this: it inflicts no immediate pain. It doesn't scream at you. It doesn't physically strike you. It lets you breathe. It lets you coast. But beneath this veneer of comfort lies a quiet, slow death, a gradual erosion of your most cherished dreams, your vital energy, your profound purpose. You are alive, but you are not truly living. You are merely surviving, not genuinely growing. You are existing, not actively becoming. In the dusty back corner of a quiet art supply store sat a single, pristine paintbrush. It was of the highest quality, meticulously handcrafted with perfect, supple bristles. It had been purchased with a surge of excitement by someone who once harbored grand dreams of becoming a painter. Initially, it graced a canvas or two, executing a few bold strokes, experimenting with a handful of vibrant colors. But soon, life intervened, becoming overwhelmingly busy. Doubts grew louder and more insistent. What if I'm not truly good enough? What if people ridicule my creations? What's the ultimate point? So, the brush was carefully placed in a drawer, just for now. Days turned into weeks, then months, then years. The aspiring artist pursued safer, more conventional dreams, a stable job, managing bills, conforming to societal expectations. The paintbrush waited patiently, always ready, always capable. But no hand ever reached for it again. One day, during a thorough spring cleaning, the now aged artist rediscovered the brush. It was stiff, coated in dust, utterly unused. He held it in his hand, a quiet heaviness settling in his chest. The paintbrush hadn't been worn down from tireless use. It was perfectly preserved, precisely because it had never been allowed to fulfill its inherent purpose. It hadn't been broken by the pain of failure. It had been forgotten by the paralyzing grip of fear. And that, tragically, is how the vast majority of dreams perish. Not with an explosive bang, but with a profound, suffocating silence. Why do people cling to the comfort zone? Because it doesn't register as failure. It feels like well-deserved rest. It feels like absolute safety. But the profound truth is remaining within the confines of your comfort zone is the most insidious form of self-destruction. You feel trapped, adrift, perpetually frustrated. Not because you are attempting too much, but precisely because you are doing too little of what genuinely matters. The agonizing pain of what could have been. One day, you will find yourself in a quiet room, devoid of noise. No phone, just you and the silent echoes of your memories. And you will pose a singular question to yourself. Get up, what did I truly accomplish with this one precious life? And if your sole endeavor was to remain comfortable, you will experience a pain far greater than any failure could inflict, the crushing pain of regret. Because failure at its core is a teacher, comfort, conversely, slowly empties you. How to break free. Deliberately do one scary thing every single day. Even a small action that forces you to stretch beyond your perceived limits. Say ice before you feel entirely ready. Allow your courageous actions to construct your courage. Make discomfort a consistent habit. If you invariably choose the path of least resistance, life will perpetually present challenges. Surround yourself with individuals who are committed to growth. Comfort loves company. Break that destructive pattern. Daily ask yourself, what would the braver version of me choose to do today? Comfort is alluring. It promises an illusion of peace, but it ultimately delivers stark mediocrity. You were not brought into existence to remain safe. You were born to evolve, to become more. Step out. Because everything you desire, every dream you passionately hold, everything that simultaneously frightens and exhilarates you, everything that ignites your very soul, it all resides beyond the boundaries of your comfort zone. Now, you possess the truth. What you choose to do next will undeniably shape the entirety of your life. Take decisive action. Share this message and reclaim your inherent power.